Penn State football. It's springtime, and I'm thinking football. You always know when spring's here. We get this blue-white game.
Absolutely.
70,000 people make the drive up there and hang out. Usually it rains, too, I think.
It does, which is delightful for me.
What are you looking forward to in this game? What areas, as fans, if they're going to the game on Saturday, Mike, or will be at the game Saturday and or on TV, radio, what should they be sort of concentrating on as far as areas of Penn State?
Well, if you're a serious Penn State fan, you know the position groups where they have holes.
Yes.
Their secondary completely graduated. Most of their offensive line graduated. They had 3 4-year starter, terrific wide receivers who all graduated. So I guess you're going to look at who's filling those holes, and they've already had a setback with that because A.J. Wallace, who probably would be one of the starters at cornerback, pulled a hamstring, and he's out. He's out now. So that who knows? I mean, there's a cast of many who could fill these spots. I think in the wide receiver, one of the kids who's probably going to start is the Manheim Central graduate, local kid, Graham Zug, who really has emerged as a pretty good player, going from a walk-on buried in the depth chart to a guy who really has a role on the team.
Some other names to watch. I mean, I know there's a couple of spots in the offensive line we need to be watching for because there's some turnaround and. Any other? We're going to get to quarterback in a few moments, but what about any other guys that you've heard are doing well, or maybe even behind schedule?
Well, Sean Lee is a guy who was an All-American type player who blew out his knee and missed all of last season. So far, I don't think they've been doing full contact with him.
I read in one of your stories they were sort of holding back on him, gloves with this guy.
Which I know he's not happy about because he really likes to smack people. But I'm sure that he'll have some kind of a role on Saturday.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with him. And a big glut at linebacker. They have a kid named Rich Maudie, who's I think it's Mike Maudie, who's a talent. They have a glut at linebacker. It really has become linebacker U.
I was going to say linebacker U still.
So that, I think, the wideouts, and I think who is going to be the quarterback other than Darryl Clark.
Will Darryl Clark even be playing much on Saturday? They already know what they got with him. He's proven.
Well, normally in these games, the starting quarterback does the presumptive starter at quarterback does play at least a little bit. I'm sure he's going to have the red shirt on, which means don't hit him,
don't touch him,
stay away from him. But it will be interesting to see how much the other kids play because they have this freshman who enrolled early, incoming freshman who enrolled early, Newsome, who is probably the guy of the future, but probably isn't ready yet. I hear that he's really been struggling with the speed of the game and picking up everything, which is perfectly natural. Anybody would be. Yeah. I mean, he ought to still be in high school, and so there. And also, if you're going to struggle, now's the time to do it.
Exactly.
And a walk-on named Matt McGoin, who I think is probably going to be the second stringer as of this moment. It doesn't really matter too much who the second stringer is in April.
Well, that was one of my questions, which who is that third guy in there? He might actually be the second guy right now.
I think he will.
But so I think those are the two guys you're going to see more time. The Clark, we don't need to watch him play. We know what we got with him. Maybe a little bit of timing with the receivers, get him out there with Graham Zug. Any other receivers coming through early on besides Zug? You mentioned him earlier.
Well, they had a kid who played a fair amount last year, named Brett Brackett, who's a bigger guy, maybe a little more athletic than Zug. I think he's going to have to step forward. They have a kid named Chaz Powell from York County,
right,
who I think is going to become Derek Williams, have that Derek Williams role. A little bit of a kick returner, running back maybe at times, and also receiver. He's really an athlete, really an explosive kid, and I think he might be a kid to watch.